Point 15, and this is very, very important. This is going to be a major way you should change your thinking in regards to business. So you've learned a lot of things so far, and you're about to learn something else. And I think I've mentioned this before on Twitter, but if you missed it, this is very, very, very important. You have to change the way you think about money. And you're going to change the way you think about money by only thinking about money all of the time. So I'll give you an example. 99.9% of people who go in a coffee shop and buy coffee and sit down. If I go in a coffee shop, I go in, I look at the prices of the coffee, I look at how busy the place is, I buy my coffee and I sit down, and then I think, if I had to run this business, would I make money? Is there a way I could run this business and make more money? How much do I think the rent is in this establishment? How much are these coffees? How busy is it here? Do they sell cakes and sandwiches to make extra revenue? Who are the main customers? Well, it's mainly businessmen. I can see there must be a business district across the road. Why are the waitresses or why are the people who work here not hot young girls to attract more men to come in if that's the main customer?
You can sort of see how you look through the matrix this way, right? If you've seen the movie, at a certain point, Neo sort of wakes up from the dead and he sees the little numbers, he sees through the matrix. This is the same way. You look at life through a lens that other people will never access. And this is so important. I can tell you, I remember when I was doing my exams for my real estate papers, and I had to do exams on construction as well. And I don't have any construction background. I'm not someone that really builds things, but I had to learn this very quickly. And then you start seeing the world in terms of, okay, this is built back in that period. Those are those materials. That's a mismanaged building right there. You sort of, the world opens up. There's a new lens through which you look at the world. And it's the same thing with what Tate is talking about now, where if you look through everything through a money lens, it sort of gives you an X-ray vision into the world. And it will give you unlimited ideas as well. Because now, for the first time, you can look at the world and see how the money is being made. It's everywhere. It's all around you. But you never saw it before because you didn't look at the world through that lens.
If I were to open a coffee shop right next door, could I beat them? Are these coffees expensive? Are they cheap? Are they good? You have to start looking at every single business you interact with, every single one, and see how you would compete with them. Or if you had to run their business if you believe you'd make a profit. Because what you'll often find is you'll see there's a lot of people making mistakes and you think you could probably do better and you might be able to beat them. So you need to sit, and when you're going through your normal life, you're having your coffee, you're sitting in fucking Starbucks, whatever. Obviously competing with a multinational like that is going to be very difficult. But any business you interact with, just start training your mind to view their business, how you believe it works, everything from rent, overheads, the product, the profit margin, whether you think you could sell more, any tips or tricks they're missing, everything from start to finish.
It's an interesting way he puts it, by the way. Maybe you noticed, maybe you don't. But the first thing that he says is you start looking at the business and you try to see how it works. So we're looking at its current state, sort of like a doctor doing like a diagnosis, where first you try to get a sense of what is the current situation. And when you have that sense, now you can look at, okay, this is the current situation. How would I improve? And what would I do differently? What would I do better? How could I outperform? How could I outcompete? But you start out by getting a sense of what actually is going on. And I see a lot of people not doing that at all. Like most people never have the sense of looking at a business. Like let's say you go to a bowling alley, right? You go bowling with colleagues or friends or whatever. Most people have no idea, like, how does this business work? How do they make money? Where's the profit margin? And now you go into the bowling alley and start getting a sense of, okay, where do they make their money? And okay, it's probably not the rent for the bowling alley itself. Maybe it's the drinks, maybe it's the food. And then when you have an overview of what is actually going on, like what you see through the matrix, now you start to see, like, how can I actually improve upon this? So which points are open for, and there's always points. I've never ever seen a business where I was looking at it thinking, yep, perfect, flawless. Now in the beginning, you're not going to have that many tools at your disposal. So you might not see it, which is fine. That's why Tate says you got to start training your mind. But after a while, you start seeing the same mistakes over and over again, the same opportunities over and over again.
You'll be surprised how much you learn about business self-taught. I do it with every bar I'm in, every restaurant I'm in, every coffee shop I go in, everything. Even simple things, like even things I know nothing about, like mechanics. I don't know anything about fixing cars. Still, I look at the amount of cars they have around. I look at how much they charge me for my time, how much the labor is, how how much I think they're charging the low-level workers, where's the big boss, how much is he making. You need to start thinking about money and thinking about businesses like this. Every time you interact with one, you need to analyze it. And your analysis will get better and it'll get more precise. Obviously, there's some information you don't know. You don't know exactly what the rent is. But you can estimate it. You should be able to estimate it. So this is one of the really important mind hack I teach anyone who wants to get serious about hustling and making money. You need to start approaching and looking at all businesses this way. Because what's going to happen is when you eventually open your own business, there's going to be some lessons that you identified, some mistakes you identified in the previous businesses that you're going to make sure you don't make. Whether you're opening a coffee shop or an online company, it doesn't matter what it is. You're going to identify the mistakes and you're going to change them. So even next time you buy something online, most websites nowadays are extremely streamlined. But still, if you identify a problem with the website, if you identify a problem with the email that comes afterwards, if you're unhappy with a particular aspect of customer support, if you don't like the packaging it comes in, whatever, analyze everything and remember everything, because you're going to use this stuff for your new company. So this is a very important mind hack. This is something you need to do permanently as a matter of habit. It's what rich people do. When they're sitting around money being made, or they're sitting around money being exchanged, because money's never made, money's only exchanged. When they're sitting around and they see money being exchanged, they work out exactly how and why and who's benefiting. So this is something you need to start doing as a matter of habit. It's extremely important.
Yeah, he's 100% right, by the way. Who's benefiting? Quo vadis in the Latin. But you've now received a new lens through which you can view the world, which is very valuable. I would start using it today and every day going forward in your life. It's the fact that you deconstruct reality and you finally see what drives decisions, specifically in businesses. You now deconstruct it, see what the different elements are, and this gives you basically three very nice things. One is that you see things that other people can't see, or are just blind to. Two is that you can see the mistakes. Tate sort of alluded to that, saying, hey, if you start focusing on the mistakes that people are making, you can prevent yourself from making those mistakes in your own business, because you know about this. You've seen it before. Like you know these mistakes are being made. So it's a nice learning hack. Sort of shortens the learning curve for you, because now you don't have to go into the same pitfalls that the other guys have gone into because you saw it. And three, this is probably the nicest thing about it and the most interesting about it. You will be able to pick successful elements from other businesses, stuff that they do in completely different industries, and implement it in your business. Like I took the guarantee idea for my real estate business from a completely different kind of business, from a air conditioning company. They did something similar. I once took a lead generation ad from a chiropractor's office, and I sort of reworked it into real estate. For my seminars, I took an ad from like a sales letter, but you can start seeing the successful elements of other businesses and implement them into your own like daily practice. So you get an overview that no one else has, you see the mistakes and you see the successes, and you'll be able to be more creative in that regard and do things that your competition will never even dream of thinking about.